I'm Jackie Van Ham, and we're getting ready to ride through the city of Milwaukee with super talented custom bike builder, painter, and fabricator Kendall Lutchman on this episode of Z1R's Downshift. Just to catch you up, here is a recap of part 1 of our discussion with Kendall.
I moved with my two brothers and my mom and dad in 1985 to the United States. He had a little Yamaha Enduro, and I would just go hop on with him and ride with him. So I learned how to paint, essentially painting model cars. I mean, the bike was a bitchin' bike, but the paint job also, and it got a lot of attention. Everyone's like, who painted that?
Being different in a community that tends to be homogenized is a good thing and allows Kendall to stand out.
Being not white American, first of all, into what I'm into, it's kind of, there's not too many of us, and my name's Kendall.
Yeah.
It's not, if my name was John, it would be a different story, so a lot of people do remember me, and a lot of people have no idea, because I'm not the guy to be like, oh, well, I did that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just sitting back there drinking a beer, hanging out. I just want to have fun with my friends, But people will be like, hey, who painted this? 90% of the time, they don't put my face to the product, the end result,
How does that make you feel?
I don't know, not bad.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it because I like being low key in the shadow. If you need to know me, you know me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know what I mean?
But if people look at you and kind of aren't expecting to see your face as a person of color,
right?
I mean, and they're a little bit taken aback by that. Is this a moment for you where you're proud and you feel like you're representing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
The hard work that Kendall puts into the bikes he builds stems from his story as an immigrant.
Especially not being a born American. I'm a U.S. citizen now. And it's funny because I always tell people I worked so hard to become a United States citizen.
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing in my life. I sold my Triumph to pay for the lawyer to do all my paperwork because I got denied the first time. It took me 3 years to become a United States citizen. It is so hard.
Oh, wow.
So when I say those kind of things to people, my friends and stuff, and I'm always telling people, I'm like, you guys have no idea how fortunate you are to be an American, where people like me or other immigrants try so hard.
That hard work to become an American citizen is something Kendall takes very seriously.
It's funny, I have an American flag in front of my house I put up, I have a light on it at night and that kind of stuff. I'm proud of that. And some of my older neighbors is a couple of guys are like, hey, that's kind of cool. I see you take it down when your light's not working. I'm like, well, yeah, it's flag etiquette, isn't that how this all works, But I'm proud of it. I mean, I worked hard for it. So
you did work very hard for it.
it.
A lot of Kendall's career, he was in the world of choppers, but more recently, he's working on some pretty amazing baggers.
I love it. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I've recently just started working here at Lucky 7, and it's a whole different world with baggers. We specialize in stereo audio competition bikes, but if you just want a bike built with big wheels or whatever, small wheel, it doesn't matter. We do it all here. I think that's what it's kind of cool with the scene here. It's everyone's pretty open, they just like to hang out. They want to go to the museum on Thursday nights, and hang out and talk motorcycles, and it's a cool scene.
Yeah.
It's cool.
The language of motorcycling transcends kind of genres and backgrounds. We all kind of can talk motorcycle. And, especially, you're right, here in Milwaukee, it is such an incredibly, I think, very open community.
Even though Kendall is an in-demand bike builder, he still finds time to explore and go riding.
I think I've ridden the most in the last year and a half since I started working here.
Oh, wow.
Because these guys like to go to bike night on Thursdays.
Okay.
So like it started to become a thing where my girl already is like, well, you're probably going to go out on your bike tonight. And I'm like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I used to ride a lot. And then I had kids and that changed everything. So my riding wasn't that much. And my friends were always like, well, let's go ride. And I was like, man, I can't. I have stuff to do, so.
Like Kendall himself, the bike he rides is pretty unique.
The bike I own right now wasn't always my bike. It was always been a loaner bike.
Okay.
And I ended up buying it from Warren. Okay. It was always Warren's bike that I always just borrowed.
Yeah.
It was an extra bike,
So it's just more riding in town.
Yeah. Cool. And the furthest I've ridden was from Chicago to Boston.
I mean, that's a huge ride.
And it was between me and my two friends, and it was a Road King, a Street Glide, and a Chopper.
Okay.
And me and my one friend was switching from the Chopper to the Road King just so we could get some rest on a hardtail,
So you weren't punishing yourself?
And I did this in maybe 2013, 2012 maybe.
Yeah.
Other than that, it'll just be like day trips.
I know that you prefer and have done an awful lot of riding around town, so I'm ready for you to show me Milwaukee. So let's get on out of here. Let's quit talking about riding and actually go and do a little bit of riding.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
If you haven't made a trip to ride the streets in Milwaukee, you are missing out. It's a must for any rider. The east side of Milwaukee is known for its eclectic mix of stores, restaurants, and of course people. And this guy didn't disappoint in showing us that. As Kendall and I make our way towards the beautiful Milwaukee lakefront, we pass the North Point Water Tower. Eventually, we made our way to the Harley Davidson Museum for their famous summertime weekly bike night.
Kendall.
What's up?
Epic ride through downtown Milwaukee.
Pretty fun.
I had a blast. Oh my gosh, now I know why you focus on riding in town. Really quickly, let's talk a little bit about riding in town, just riding in general. What kind of gear is like you must have when you go out and ride?
Oh man, gloves. Gotta have gloves.
Gloves?
Some reputable boots. Gotta have some good riding boots. A helmet. I wear prescriptions, so glasses always, but yeah, that type of stuff. I mean, gotta be geared up.
Gotta be geared up,
Yeah,
right?
geared up.
Right? So where are we right now? Tell us where we're at.
We're at the Harley Davidson Museum.
Because it's
Bike night.
yes, every Thursday.
Yeah.
I know one of the things that I want to talk about real quick is how you bring and invite your whole family here. I love that you include them in this motorcycling culture and in this lifestyle. Can you talk to me about that a little bit?
I don't know. I mean, this place is pretty family friendly, and they encourage that, I think. But sometimes it does get too much, overwhelming. But for the most part, my kids love it. They Dad, look at this bike and look at this paint job. And, they're always climbing up, and it's funny. People are like, hey, don't. And I'm like, oh no, that's my bike.
Those are mine.
Yeah, they can do whatever they want to do, So it's cool though. But it's kind of cool because a lot of people do see kids here and they love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool.
Well, I think it's just interesting. We come from all of these different backgrounds. We came to motorcycling from a completely different way.
Yeah.
And even though you're in the scene, in the chopper scene, you ride this gnarly badass bike. You're still
It's
like
not.
this family guy who wants to involve his kids and bring them
Yeah.
into motorcycling and bring them into this culture. And I think that that's really very special about motorcycling
Yeah.
and the motorcycling family in general.
I mean, I'm not trying to hide it, you know? I'm not gonna, I can't hide it from my kids, you know? It's like, if I'm gonna go do something, let's go.
Well, so I love that you even involve, your entire family, and your background is coming from, automotive all the way up to motorcycle. You have all these different skill sets, all these awesome things to pass down to your kids and bring them into the motorcycling family as well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So with that, let's go check out this awesome bike night, because this is starting to sound like a pretty good time.
Yeah, it's
Kendall,
fun.
thank you for taking the time to hang out with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Here
Appreciate
on
it.
Z1R Downshift.